things just keep going from bad to worse for Matt Gaetz. As we all know, he's got that ongoing House Ethics Committee investigating all of the things he allegedly did, potential drug use, potentially having relations with women who are underage. And that's going pretty intense, right? They're calling witnesses. It's not looking good for Matt Gaetz there. And to make matters even worse for him, Matt Gaetz was recently hit with a subpoena to come and testify about his relations with that underage woman. Now, this is an interesting lawsuit, because Matt Gaetz is not actually a part of the lawsuit. Here's what happened. You had a former Gaetz friend and ally who is now a lobbyist, but he is formerly a state representative here in the state of Florida, a man by the name of Chris Dorworth. Now, Mr. Dorworth has sued Joel Greenberg, Matt Gaetz's other friend, the one who gave all the information about Gaetz to the DOJ, and then they decided not to prosecute. And of course, Greenberg is currently in prison. But Dorworth sued Mr. Greenberg and this woman who allegedly had relations with Matt Gaetz when she was underage, alleging both defamation and a conspiracy to smear him. Now that's very interesting, right? It's very interesting for this guy who up to this point nobody's heard of. And he's like, they defamed me and ruined my life. Nobody's heard of you, dude. Like, how were you defamed when we don't know who you are? We don't know what they allege that you did. Like, that's not defamation if I go in my backyard and say something defamatory, but nobody's around to hear it, it's technically by definition not defamatory because it didn't cost you a thing. And as far as we have seen, Mr. Dorworth, you have not really even proven that you have suffered anything from whatever it is you're alleging in this conspiracy against this woman and Joel Greenberg. But as part of her defense, this woman, who is not named, her just goes by initials AB, so she sent the subpoena to Matt Gaetz, and now Matt Gaetz is going to have to come in under oath on April 5th is currently the date that's slotted. It may change, but right now it's set for April 5th. Gaetz is going to go in and have to testify under oath about whether or not he engaged in sexual activity with this underage girl and whether or not Mr. Dorworth was somehow involved in any of it. And it's under oath, so you have to be honest. But you may be thinking to yourself, but Farron, can't Matt Gaetz just easily plead the fifth and not have to say anything? He absolutely can. That is his legal constitutional right. Unfortunately, pleading the fifth works a lot differently in civil trials than it does in criminal trials. You see, if you're in a criminal trial and you plead the fifth while you're up on the stand or even in a deposition, the jury is immediately instructed, forget that happened. You have to forget the question that was asked. You have to forget that he pleaded the fifth. It's like it never happened. That is the rule for the jury in a criminal trial. You can't even take it into consideration that he pleaded the fifth. On the other hand, in a civil trial, the jury absolutely can make the assumption that, oh, this individual pleaded the fifth, that means he did it. So they are not barred from using the fact that a person pleaded the fifth against them in a civil trial. So even if Gaetz pleads the fifth, then the lawyers for that woman can go to the jury and be like, he pleaded the fifth because he did it, and he doesn't want you to know he did it, because if he says he did it, that would mean the DOJ would have to come back and prosecute him. So there's no good outcome here for Matt Gaetz. Even though he's not even a party to this lawsuit, his testimony could absolutely ruin his career, even if he tries to plead the fifth.